Hi, and welcome to Life Coaching with Jane Baldwin. How are you doing? I'm doing really well, and I'm very happy to be here with you. This podcast is on the work, which consists of 4 questions and a turnaround, and was created by Byron Katie. I highly recommend her books, which were a mind-blowing read for me when I first came across her in 2006. She is also amazing to see in action. I've seen her do the work live. There are also many great clips of her on YouTube. She works with a wide range of people, from those with issues that many of us have, to those who have had horrific experiences, including mental and physical abuse and beyond. Katie's work is one of the processes I draw on in my own coaching, as it's so powerful to see ourselves and others through this lens. The work is not about getting rid of thoughts or about being right or wrong. It's about realizing what is true for us. It's about increasing awareness and noticing internal cause and effect. Sometimes when we believe a thought we're thinking, there can be an uneasy feeling or a disturbance that can range from mild discomfort to fear or panic. This indicates work is required. Our nature is truth, and when we oppose it, we don't feel like ourselves. Stress never feels as natural as peace does. Once we see the truth, the thought lets go of us. A great way to start is by asking yourself the following questions about someone you are angry or annoyed with, or you haven't forgiven for something they did or didn't do. Use short, simple sentences. Don't censor yourself. Allow yourself to be critical and petty. Try to fully experience the anger or pain as if the situation were occurring right now. Always express your answers on paper. So, question 1. Who angers, frustrates, or confuses you, and why? Whom do you resent? What is it about that person that you don't like? For example, I am angry at Paul because he doesn't listen to me. He doesn't appreciate me, and he argues with everything I say. Question 2. How do you want that person to change? What do you want that person to do? For example, I want Paul to stop what he's doing and really pay attention to me when I want to talk to him. I want him to give me compliments and thank me for the things I do for him. I don't want him to ever argue with me. Question 3. What is it that that person should or shouldn't do, be, think, or feel? What advice could you offer? For example, Paul shouldn't ignore me or argue with me. He should also appreciate me. My advice to him would be to value our relationship more than he does and to put more effort into it. Question 4. What does that person need to do in order for you to be happy? For example, to be happy, I need Paul to not argue with me, to appreciate me, and to pay attention to me. Question 5. What do you think of that person? Make a list. For example, Paul is inconsiderate, selfish, and argumentative. Question 6. What is it that you don't want to experience with that person again? For example, I don't ever want to feel unheard, defensive towards, or unappreciated by Paul again. Now, one by one, put each statement up against the 4 questions I'm about to share with you, along with the turnaround. Then find 3 genuine examples of how each of the turnarounds are true. Throughout this process, explore being open to possibilities beyond what you think you know. There's nothing more exciting than discovering the don't know mind. Keep asking the questions and wait. Let the answer find you. You may begin to experience revelations about yourself and your world that can transform your whole life forever. The first question is it true? If the answer is maybe, I'm not sure, or no, take time with the following additional questions. Afterwards, if this answer still isn't a yes, which it doesn't have to be, go to question 3. So the additional questions to is it true are: What is the reality of it? Did it happen? Whose business is it? Remember, when you think that someone or something other than yourself needs to change, you're mentally out of your business. The second question is, can you absolutely know that it's true? Can you know more than the reality of it? Again, whose business are you in? Can you really know what is best in the long run for his, her, or your path? Can you absolutely know that you would be happier or that your life would be better if you got what you wanted? The third question is, how do you react when you believe that thought? Where does the feeling hit you? Where do you feel it in your body when you believe that thought? Describe it. What do your feelings reveal to you when you think that thought? Allow your feelings to live and notice how much of your body they take over. Where do those feelings take you? What pictures, if any, come to you when you believe that thought? How do you treat others when you believe it? What specifically do you say to them or do? Whom does your mind attack and how? Provide as much detail as you can. How do you treat yourself when you believe that thought? Is this where addictions kick in and you reach for food, alcohol, credit cards, or the TV remote? Do you have thoughts of self-hatred? If so, what are they? How have you lived your life when you believe that thought? Be specific. Go into your past. Does the thought bring peace or stress into your life? What do you get for holding that belief? Remember, a belief is just a thought we keep thinking. The fourth question is, who would you be without the thought? Who would you be if you didn't believe that thought? Close your eyes and imagine yourself with that person or in that situation without that thought. Describe how it feels. What do you see? Imagine you're meeting this person for the very first time with no beliefs about him or her. What do you see? Who are you right now, sitting here without that thought? How would you live your life without it? If you were incapable of thinking it, how would your life be different? How would you treat others differently without it? What would you be without the thought? The next step is to turn the thought around. Statements can be turned around to yourself, the other, and to the opposite. Be willing to go inside with each turnaround you discover and experience how it applies to you in your life. Own it. The turnaround is about welcoming all your thoughts and experiences with open arms. If you feel any resistance to a thought or feeling, there is more work to be done. Find 3 examples in your life of where the turnarounds are as true or truer. Be specific and as detailed as you can. For example, Paul should appreciate me turns around to I should appreciate myself. It's my job, not his. I should appreciate Paul, especially when he doesn't appreciate me. Paul shouldn't appreciate me unless he does. The original statement of I don't ever want to experience an argument with Paul again turns around to I am willing to experience an argument with Paul again, and I look forward to experiencing an argument with Paul again. Sometimes you might not find the turnaround in your behaviour or actions. If this is the case, look for it in your thinking. E.g., Paul should stop smoking becomes I should stop smoking. Perhaps you've never smoked a single cigarette in your life. It may be that where you are smoking is in your mind. Over and over you smoke with anger and frustration as you picture Paul smelling up your house with cigarette smoke. Do you mentally smoke more times in a day than Paul does? Or is there something you use in the same way you think Paul uses cigarettes, e.g. food, drugs, credit cards, or relationships? Using the phrase my thinking can also be helpful here. For example, I'm angry at my partner for making my life complicated. turns around to, I'm angry at my thinking for making my life complicated. I want my partner to be gentle and loving, turns around to, I want my thinking to be gentle and loving. When you have the turnarounds, the following questions can be useful. Is this turnaround as true or truer than my original statement? Where do I experience this turnaround in my own life now? If I lived this turnaround, what would I do, or how would I live differently? Are there any other turnarounds that seem as true or truer? What fascinates me with the work is how often the way we would like other people to change is actually how we could change. Well, that's it for this podcast on Byron Katie and the work. Thank you for listening, and I hope you found it useful. I'm just so happy to be able to share with you. If you'd like to find out more about life coaching with Jane Baldwin, please visit my website www.janebaldwin.co.uk. You'll also see I offer a 1-hour complimentary discovery call, so please get in touch if this is for you. Warmest regards as always.